Have you ever looked at your favorite K-pop idol and thought,
Wait, is this really the same person from their debut days?
because sometimes the transformation is so incredible, it almost feels unreal. From fresh-faced rookies with nervous smiles to global superstars who command the stage with just one look.
The glow up.
Absolutely insane. But it's not just about visuals.
It's about growth.
Confidence, experience, and that undeniable aura that only comes with time.
Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting topics for any K-pop fan.
The then versus now evolution of some of the biggest idols in the world. Jungkook, EXO's Kai, and Stray Kids Felix in 2026. We're going to look at how they started, how they've changed, and why their transformation has captivated millions of fans worldwide.
And trust me, some of these changes will surprise you. Because once you see the full journey,
You'll understand why these idols are not just popular. They're legendary.
the magic of K-pop evolution.
Before we jump into each idol, let's talk about something that makes K-pop so unique. In many industries, artists debut when they're already fully formed.
But in K-pop, you grow up in front of the world. Fans don't just see the success,
They see the awkward beginnings, the learning process,
the struggles.
the breakthroughs. And that's what makes the transformation so powerful. It's not just a before and after.
It's a journey. And for idols like Jungkook, Kai, and Felix, that journey has been nothing short of incredible.
Jungkook, from golden magnate to global icon.
Let's start with someone who almost everyone knows.
Jungkook.
Even if you're not deep into K-pop, you've probably heard his name.
But go back to the beginning.
And you'll see a completely different version of him. Then the shy rookie.
When Jungkook debuted with BTS, he was just a teenager.
Young, quiet, a little shy.
You could see the talent immediately, his vocals, his dancing, his stage potential. But there was also a sense of innocence.
He was still figuring things out, still growing into himself. On stage, he was strong, but off stage, you could see that he was still a kid in many ways.
Fans loved him for that.
He felt real,
Relatable.
like someone you wanted to protect. Now, the complete performer.
Fast forward to 2026.
And Jungkook is no longer just the golden magne. He's a global superstar.
Everything about him has evolved.
His voice, more powerful, more controlled, more expressive. His stage presence.
On another level.
He doesn't just perform anymore.
He owns the stage.
Every movement feels intentional. Every expression feels confident. And visually,
The transformation is just as striking.
his features have matured.
His style has become more defined. There's a confidence in the way he carries himself that wasn't there before. But what makes Jungkook truly special is that, even with all this growth,
He hasn't lost that sincerity.
that connection with fans, that genuine energy that made people fall in love with him in the first place.
What changed the most? If we had to point out the biggest change, it's his confidence, not just as an idol, but as an artist. He knows who he is now. He knows what he brings to the table. And that self-awareness,
That's what turns a talented idol into a legend. Kai EXO, the definition of stage charisma.
now let's talk about someone who has always been known for one thing.
Presence.
EXO's Kai.
From the very beginning, Kai stood out. But his evolution,
It's on a completely different level. Then, the intense performer.
back in EXO's early days, Kai was already known as one of the best dancers in K-pop. Sharp movements, strong expressions, a powerful, almost overwhelming stage presence. When he performed, you couldn't look away. But there was also a certain intensity, a seriousness that defined his image.
He was the main dancer.
The performer, the one who delivered impact.
Now the artist.
In 2026, Kai is no longer just a performer.
He's an artist, and you can see it in everything he does. His dancing has become more fluid, more controlled, more expressive. Instead of just hitting movements with power, he now tells a story through his body.
Every performance feels intentional. Every detail matters.
And visually,
Kai has always been handsome, but now there's a different kind of charm.
a more refined, more mature.
Almost effortless elegance.
He doesn't need to try as hard to stand out anymore. He just does. The evolution of charisma.
What's fascinating about Kai is how his charisma has changed. Before it was intense.
Now,
It's controlled, confident.
magnetic. He doesn't need big gestures to capture attention. Sometimes a simple glance is enough.
And that's the kind of presence that only comes with experience. Felix, from unique rookie to global favorite.
Now, let's move on to someone who has one of the most recognizable identities in K-pop.
Felix from Stray Kids.
If you know, you know. That deep voice.
Unforgettable.
Then, the unexpected charm.
When Felix first debuted, he immediately caught attention.
Not just because of his visuals, but because of his voice. It was unexpected.
A deep, powerful tone that stood out in every song. But beyond that, Felix had a soft, almost gentle personality. Bright smile.
Warm energy. He felt approachable,
Friendly.
like someone you'd instantly like. Now, the duality king. In 2026, Felix has taken that charm and elevated it to another level.
He's mastered something that fans love.
Duality.
On stage, powerful.
Charismatic, sometimes even intimidating.
Off stage, soft.
Playful.
Adorable. And that contrast makes him incredibly appealing.
Visually, he's also gone through a noticeable transformation. His features have become sharper, his styling more refined.
But he still maintains that unique, almost fairy-like charm that made him stand out from the beginning.
Growth in confidence.
One of the biggest changes in Felix is his confidence. Early on, you could sometimes see hesitation, moments where he was still finding his place.
Now,
That hesitation is gone.
he owns his identity,
He embraces what makes him different.
and that confidence has made him one of the most beloved idols globally. Then versus now. What do they all have in common?
When you look at Jungkook, Kai, and Felix,
You start to notice a pattern. Yes, their visuals have changed. Yes, their styles have evolved.
but the biggest transformation isn't physical, it's internal.
One, confidence. All three of them have grown into themselves.
They're no longer trying to prove anything,
They know their value.
and that shows in every performance.
Two, artistic identity.
They've moved beyond just being idols. They're artists now. Each of them has a distinct style, a unique presence.
A clear identity.
3. Connection with fans.
Despite all their growth, one thing hasn't changed: their connection with fans.
If anything, it's become stronger.
More genuine, more meaningful. Why fans love then versus now.
There's something emotional about looking back at where an idol started. You remember the early days, the first performances.
The small moments, and then you see who they've become. It's not just impressive, it's inspiring, because it reminds you that growth takes time,
That change is possible.
that becoming your best self is a journey.
And this is just the beginning. What's even more exciting is that this evolution isn't over. Jungkook,
Kai,
Felix,
they're still growing,
still evolving.
still surprising us. And that's what makes following K-pop so special. Because you're not just watching a performance,
You're watching a story unfold.